What is going on? Let me get, God, you know what? It's pretty funny trying to get comfortable in this spot right here because actually it's kind of a tight squeeze. I don't have like the biggest room. I'm like renting a room. I don't need a lot in life, but it's a small-ish room, but really like based on like where the power cords are and stuff like that, and like or where the outlets are and like kind of just the setup and everything. Like I'm in this like everything is like it's a perfect fit, but like to the inch. And so like I'm over here at like the foot of my bed and stuff, like between my computer and like with my yoke right here. It's kind of a tight squeeze. And so this chair, yeah, it's like the wide base chair. Kind of point is like I'm over here at like the limit, so like getting comfortable is kind of a challenge. But point is we're together and it's a beautiful Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. It's like 8:05, and a little bit late, but Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. Pacific, private pilot ground and sim Wednesdays, and really excited to be with you guys tonight as we continue our and for those of you new to the channel, my name is Philip, and I'm a certified flight instructor down here in Los Angeles. It's a pleasure to meet you if it's for the first time, and it's a pleasure to be with you even if it's not the first time. And hold on one sec. I am a certified flight instructor down here in Los Angeles, and I have the pleasure of bringing my ground material that I use in my real life flight instruction to Twitch and sharing that knowledge with you guys to help help you along and help you in your flight sim be a little more directness and a little more appreciation like for the flight sim that we all know and love, and helping you, worst case scenario, helping you guys do what you'd love to do a little bit better and with a little more knowledge and a little more purpose. So hopefully, that's the case. So I'm there doing that. And I am wearing a Let's Summon Demons t-shirt. Yay, Timmy, let's do it. I love it, dude. This guy. Activities for Children. It's a great shirt. Let's see here. Before we kick this off, let's... Oh, see, now this is coming in loud. Yesterday it was... Test, 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 test. How's that? Was that pretty good? I think I was coming in a little bit loud just now. Sorry about that. Really quick, let me just send this text off real quick. All right, cool. So, really excited to fly with you guys and do the ground. Tonight, we're gonna continue our aerodynamics themed ground school month of December. Month of December this month has been my Wednesdays have been aerodynamics themed. We had on the 1st of December, we had angle of attack. What is the angle of attack? Where does the angle of attack show up? And how is lift generated? So angle of attack and how is lift generated? We talked about the different theories of lift, Newtonian and Bernoulli's principles regarding lift. We looked at angle of attack and how airplanes stall and what happens in a stall. We looked at the role that control surfaces play in manipulating the chord line. Let's see here. Ooh. Um, okay. So that was on the first angle of attack and how lift is generated. We looked at basically the idea here is the more air we can deflect, the greater the difference in pressure we can create above and below the wing, and cause the wing to lift up to a certain point. And that point is the critical angle. And that critical angle we said was a function of airfoil design. Not the critical angle is the angle of attack that the wing stalls is not a function of air density. It is not a function of aircraft weight. It is not a function of CG location. It is not a function of any of those things. The fact is that no matter what the density of no matter what the density altitude is, no matter what the weight of the airplane is, no matter where the CG is, that the angle of attack at which the airfoil stalls will be the same regardless. Now, what does the where the CG location does play a role, where the aircraft weight does play a role, where the density of the air does play a role, is in how easily we get to that critical angle. Yes, right? So but make no mistake about it that those things don't change the angle that the wing stalls. That is a fundamentally different thing. That's a knowledge test question. The following Tuesday on the 8th, we talked about the four forces of flight. We the four forces, really there's five, but I mean colloquially we talk about lift, weight, drag, and thrust, and in terms of the four the pairs. And we said that there was the fifth that was very instrumental, in particular to stability, longitudinal stability, being the tail down force. But tail down force is actually, let's see here. What is from one? Okay. The tail down force is the force that the horizontal stabilizer exerts downward on the tail and forces the tail down. It's because the horizontal stabilizer is an airfoil that is kind of upside down, so that it naturally pushes down, but it produces lift. It's a type of lift that's just directed downward, so it's not really a fourth independent force like drag or weight or thrust. Like, these are major different independent forces, whereas the tail down force is really lift. but it's just redirected in the downward like direction. So, but the fact is like it is central to the longitudinal stability of the airplane, and it is the reason why, you know, when we add power, the aircraft pitches up, right? When we reduce power, the aircraft pitches down on its own. It's not because it's producing less lift, and it is producing less lift, right? But it really is because of the tail downforce becoming more or less effective based on changes in relative winds. So that is really what's going on with the with the tail downforce. Other forces that we talked about was drag. Major force that we talked about, you know, we said that there were two different types of drag, parasitic and induced drag, and we said parasitic drag is pretty comprehensible. Like, you know, it's just the idea that, you know, certain things that are aerodynamic shaped flow through the air better than more broad shaped things. You know, that the form is important, that the shape and the form of the object is important, and if you can make it more bullet shaped, then it's better. That there are imperfections in the skin of the object that, you know, need to be either filled with wax or whatever it is, or, you know, laser cut or whatever to you know, have the best results, smooth flying through the air. And that we've got turbulent flow in the crevices of the airplane, where it's like where the wings meet the body of the airplane, where the surfaces that, you know, stick out, like the stabilizers and the wings, where they meet the body of the airplane, like the wing root. You've got turbulence in where they meet, and that interference drag shows up right there. And so what we have is we have fairings. So what we have are fairings that will smoothen that air out and reduce that induced drag. Okay, so that was parasitic drag, but induced drag is what is inescapable from the production of lift. We said induced drag is when we look at lift and drag as vectors emerging from a common point, right, from the center of pressure, that point along the chord line where all of the aerodynamic forces can be thought of as like concentrated around and radiating from, or originating from. That drag associated with the production of lift is induced drag, different type of drag. And that induced drag, we said, can be thought about from at least two different points of view. From a vector analysis point of view and a vector addition point of view, as we increase the angle of attack and tilt that lift vector back and extend that lift vector, we talked from a Bernoulli's principle standpoint why that lift vector would increase. That lift vector increases and gets tilted back. Ooh. Sorry, just coordinating a flight for tomorrow. So as you tilt that lift vector back, the induced drag component, the vector component, the horizontal component to that resultant vector, the horizontal component is representative of the induced drag. That component lengthens, that component increases, right? That lift has increased, so the component has increased, the drag component, okay? But from a practical standpoint, like, that's not very practical. That's talking about arrows and vectors. Like, what are you even talking about? From a fluid standpoint, induced drag is a result of wingtip vortices that occur at the wingtip of the aircraft, that as you have the high pressure from underneath created by that angle of attack and that relative wind hitting the bottom of the airplane, very high pressure, right? You also have that wind, that relative wind flowing over the top and becoming more diffuse, creating that low pressure on the top. That you've got very high pressure underneath, very low pressure, relatively low pressure on the top, and in the the high pressure really wants to meet with that low pressure, and for the majority of the wing, it's not allowed to because the wing's in the way, right? But the wing tip, on the other hand, that high pressure is allowed to slip out from under the wing and wrap around and try and equalize with that low pressure on the top. And so there's a vortex that's created around the wing on the wingtip. So that counter those counter, you got one on each wingtip. So those counter rotating vortices on the wingtips, as that turbulent flow flows around the wing, it pulls back on the wing. And the thing is the strength of those vortices are related to the strength, the magnitude of that lift that's created. So there we are talking about, the wingtip vortices being a source of induced drag related to the amount of lift that's produced. That's also consistent. And so the more lift we produce, the stronger the wingtip vortices, the stronger the induced drag. So, we talked about thrust as well, the difference between thrust and power. And we also talked about weight, actually. Not there's not a whole lot to say, but at the same time, like, there is, when we talk about weight, we're talking about CG. We're talking about how the CG affects the angle of attack. And we talked about angle of attack affecting the amount of lift that's produced, the amount of lift being produced affecting how much load is on the wing structure. And based on the wing loading, how that affects the stall speed of the aircraft. So that whole line is how you go from angle of attack to stall speed. We said that a forward CG, in terms of weight, right, and where this weight is distributed, if that CG is forward because of where the weight is located, even if you're within the CG limits, if all that weight is forward, you're going to be flying with that high angle of attack. More lift is produced. The more lift that's produced, there's more wing loading going on, so your stall speed is higher. A forward CG results in a higher stall speed. So we looked at weight from the standpoint of CG and longitudinal stability, and how weight and center of gravity affect stall speed. Okay. Today we're looking at how airplanes turn and where G loading comes from. So I'm really excited about that. We're familiar with G loading if you've ever been to an amusement park. And I really like roller coasters, but I know plenty of people that don't like roller coasters. But if you don't like roller coasters, chances are because you definitely have experienced G-forces. So I feel like I'm still talking to the same people. And, on roller coasters where it's like, you go up and, over the top and you kind of come back around that after you go to the top and then come down and boom, curve around like that. Right, that you curve around and all of a sudden you feel like really heavy in your seat. That feeling of heaviness is G loading, and you can feel that in the airplane as well. I know many of us watching are flight sim enthusiasts, and we've maybe only flown in the sim, maybe not flown in real life ever. Maybe someday you will, But if you do in real life, you will feel it. One of the things that you'll work on with your flight instructor is steep turns. And steep turns is a performance maneuver done, depending on what aircraft you're in, but it might be 85 knots, might be 90, might be 110, depends on the aircraft. But, it's done near maneuvering speed. And you put the airplane in a 45-degree bank and you maintain your altitude. And the only way to do that is by the more bank you put in, we know that the nose wants to go down. You got to pull back and back pressure, right? You're going to put in that 45 degrees and then back pressure, right? And when you do that, yeah, it looks great because, you're maintaining your altitude. But the thing that you experience, you're like, whoa, shit, like I'm feeling this turn. So the question is why is it that when you put in that bank angle and you hold that back pressure in to maintain your altitude, why is it that you feel that G loading? And the answer is what you're gonna see is actually extensions off of what we've already talked about. The fact is that we are increasing our angle of attack, so we're producing more lift, and in producing more lift, we are producing more wing loading. We already talked about that. And we need that angle of attack because when we put the bank in, we're sacrificing some of the vertical component for, the fact that some of it's going into the horizontal now to pull the airplane to the side. So we need to generate more lift to restore that vertical component. And the only way to do that is increase angle of attack. So as you would imagine, there is a bank angle and a speed where, based on the speed that you're going, like there, in other words, like the slower you're going, the higher the angle of attack needs to be. There is a bank angle and speed combination where you will stall, assuming that you're below VA, and you don't want to damage the airplane. But there is a speed where you will, for every bank angle, there's a speed that you're gonna stall at. And as you increase bank angle and increase the wing loading, it becomes less and less relevant how fast you're going, because you're gonna stall that airplane. You know what I mean? Skylark VS1. No, that is not what VS1 is. VS1. Oh, you know what it is? I know what you're saying. I was thinking V1, like when you're doing multi-engine stuff, like jet stuff, but no. So VS1 is like this, and even as an instructor, like I need some clarification on it, because VS1, if you look at a POH, it's the stall speed under like a specified configuration. And it's like, that's the most vague thing ever. Like, if you look at a POH, that's what VS1 will be. And it's like, what is that? So, like, VSO, we know, is the stall speed in the landing configuration at max gross, right? 1.3 times the stall speed at max gross weight. We know that that's what VSO is. That's very clear. That's extremely defined. But yeah, VS1, is not, it's not necessarily it's like got this kind of ambiguous thing. So I actually need to get some clarification on that. So, part of being an instructor is actually admitting that, when we know about that. It is like, if you look at the POH, it's super ambiguous. But anyway, yeah. So we talked about angle of attack and where that comes from, and that's when we're talking about turning. That's where that that relates. The other thing is, like we said, where does G loading come from? We talked about this in the day 1 and in day 2, actually, where this concept of forces coming in pairs. We said that the crux of Newton's third law is that forces come in pairs, and that for every action force, there is a reaction force that it comes with it that is equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. That you don't get something from nothing. And so that returning to that concept tonight will be crucial to understanding like where G loading comes from, because if we know that we need to increase angle of attack, and the more bank we put in, the more angle of attack we need, the more load lift we need to produce. The thing is load, G load is the pair. It is the force pair that accompanies lift. That is where G loading comes from. So as we increase lift, it doesn't come at no cost. The cost is you increase the load as well. And that's where we start talking about limit load factors, where there is a limit to the load that you can impose on a particular airplane, depending on what category it's in. Category with respect to the certification of aircraft, right? Is it a normal aircraft? Is it like a utility, or is it acrobatic? Like, right? Normal category aircraft, they're certificated. They're certificated right? Normal category is certificated to a stress of positive, I want to say 3.2 Gs, and I want to say minus 1.1 or something. So, God, I hate negative Gs, by the way. So yeah, those are the limit load factors, and what that means is that, you know, beyond those loads, plus an actual a built-in buffer as well. Any much more beyond those limit load factors, you're starting to talk about permanently deforming, you know, permanent deformation, what we call permanent deformation, or you know, permanently bending the metal. So G loading, in short, long story short, G loading is it's the accompanying force in the force pair. It's what accompanies lift. It acts in the opposite direction, same and equal magnitude as the lift that's produced. So, okay. All right, guys. So let's hop in. Let's take a look at some graphics here. All right. Cool. And then I'm really excited. We're gonna get in the King Air, more King Air 200 stuff tonight. Okay. So yeah, just touching on this stuff. Talked about the airfoil, chord line, straight line between the leading edge and the trailing edge, and that the angle of attack is the angle between that chord line and the relative wind. The main takeaway from this was that the relative wind opposes the flight path, and we're not talking about the angle, like the pitch attitude of the airplane necessarily. Like what we're talking about, of course, pitch, it relates to pitch, but you could be like, you know, you could be pitched, you know, 5 degrees below the horizon and still be stalled because you're descending, right? It's not about pitch attitude with respect to the horizon. We're talking about relative to the, you know, where's the angle formed between the chord line and the relative wind, not like the longitudinal axis and, you know, the horizon, right? That's not what we're talking about. There's the vectors that we were talking about, and as we increase angle of attack, that resultant lift tilts back and increases its length, but also increases the induced drag vector right there. CG, that's what I was talking about in the intro, that the CG, the location of the CG can change, and we need to be aware of that, you know, of shifting CG in flight. All right. Yep, and then we got the flight controls here. We're actually, I'm gonna like redo this whole like lecture, if I'm being totally honest. This was actually, I believe this was the first lecture, the first PowerPoint I ever put together as a advanced ground instructor. This is like really, really old. I'm like totally overdue for an aerodynamics and aircraft surfaces and, like, you know, control surfaces lecture. Some Machado stuff here. All right, 4 forces. Lift, we talked about Bernoulli's principle, and equal volumes of a fluid pass through different areas in equal time. And so as a result of a smaller area, you've got velocity increasing and pressure decreasing. We talked about why that is. We're not here to like rote memorize things. We're here to understand why certain things happen. Okay. Yep, we talked about weight and CG. We talked about what thrust is. We said that thrust is different from power, like we were saying. Thrust is lift we talked about the airfoil being or I'm sorry, the propeller being an airfoil. And drag, we talked about this, right? Wingtip vortices. Slow flight. Yeah, dude, I mean, we could talk about this, definitely, but we won't. It's a good little understanding of the aerodynamics of slow flight. It's going to take a little while, though. All right. How airplanes turn. So let me back this off a little bit. Cool. Sweet. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at an airplane that is, it's in a bank, and there are three different airplanes here, or it's the same airplane, but in three different cases. And I'm going to start with the airplane in the middle, because in this picture, all of the forces are balanced, actually. You'll notice that not all the forces are balanced in the aircraft on the sides. And we'll talk about why, what that means. We'll talk about what that means. So looking at the aircraft in the middle, what we said here is the aircraft that is banking, what ends up happening is the aircraft that's banking, when the wings are level, what's going on? The all of the lift that the wing is producing is in the vertical, right? So what an airplane needs in order to this is all assuming maintaining your altitude, by the way. Okay. So an airplane, in order to maintain its altitude, depending on its weight, needs a certain amount of vertical lift to not descend. That's what we need. We need a certain amount of vertical lift. Okay. So if the wings are level, it's all vertical. So then it just becomes, do you have enough angle of attack? Do you have enough power and speed, to not descend? And usually it is, right? Matter of fact, in a wings level attitude, a straight and level attitude, for example, like when we're like rounding out at cruise altitude from a takeoff, we have to reduce power. We might even reduce. Jeez. What was that all about? It was like a pretty gnarly sounding kind of blast outside. Huh. It sounded like a crash of some kind, not like a... Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Hope everybody's okay. So, yeah, in what we have to do, in fact, when we level off, we might even reduce power and lower the nose. And, as the airplane picks up speed, we might have to reduce power even more. Maybe we didn't reduce power enough, right? So that's how well the wings are producing enough lift to, certainly not descend, but we might even need to reduce a lot more power to just maintain altitude. Now, what we should be doing is trimming nose down, like retrimming the aircraft for a faster speed and keeping a good amount of power in there. But the fact is if it's a really powerful airplane, yeah, you might really need to dial that power pretty significantly back, you know what I mean? Certainly while you collect your bearings, right? But once we start and so the airplane's in level flight, right? The airplane's in level flight in this reduced power, nose down trim, cruise power setting, it's all good, right? But what happens when and it's hands off, totally trimmed out level cruise flight. But what happens when we start banking the airplane? The nose wants to go down on its own. We know that. We know that from in the sim. We know that in real life. And this is true for all airplanes. So why is that, right? Well, what happens is in level flight with the wings level, it was producing enough vertical component to stay level. But once you start banking, you don't have that same amount of components. Some of that lift that's directed now horizontal or to the diagonal, some of that is actually you're borrowing some of that from the vertical, and you're sending it out into the horizontal, to the horizontal component of lift, and you're trading some of that, and that's nice because you want to turn, so you're willing to give that up. But the thing is you're not gonna, you need to ask, you need to negotiate with that wing and say, listen, yeah, I'll give you some of the horizontal, but I'm gonna need to ask you a favor. I'm gonna need to ask you for a little more lift because I need a certain amount of vertical. Like, I'm happy to give you that horizontal component, but I need to ask you a favor, and I need you to give me a little more lift because I need that vertical component. You're trying to not descend. And so the wing's like, yeah, sure. I've got more lift to give you, but I need something from you. I need angle of attack. I need you to give me some angle of attack here. And you're like, all right, And if that aircraft, if that wing has more angle of attack to give, if that wing has more lift to give, if there's more angle of attack to go, then it's all good. You can enter that bank and ask more of that wing by introducing some more angle of attack, and generating more lift will restore that vertical component that you just sacrificed. So that's good, right? And now, so that's like 15 degrees, right? Little bit of bank. And then you're like putting in 30 degrees. And let's say you're in that 15-degree bank and you trim it out, hands off, and it's all good. The amount of vertical components there, you got a little bit of horizontal going in, but you did have to increase that angle of attack a little bit and produce a little bit more lift, and it's all good. But now you go from 15 to 30, bank angles increasing, you're redirecting that out into the, even more so. Get the cat toy out. Now you're directing it out here. The wing is banked like this, and you're directing it out here, right? So that drops down, and now this is brought down like that, but that horizontal component's like way out here like that. So you need to ask even more of the wing now. You need even more angle of attack. And what that more angle of attack does, you pitch that, you increase that angle, you increase that air deflection, that low pressure, that increases the low pressure over the top, and that increases the high pressure on the bottom, and you're generating more lift. And that vector, and you generate more lift, that vector increases, and that vertical component is restored, and then so on and so on as you increase your bank angle. So that being the case, you're in this 45-degree bank. Or this is like kind of this is like a 45-degree, I guess, or maybe a 30. This is kind of a steep bank right here. The thing is if in this steep bank, the amount of the what you need is to generate more lift, right? But that lift that's generated is accompanied by this load right here. So this is a pair. The vertical component and the weight is a pair, and the horizontal lift and the centrifugal force is a pair. So that is where the load comes from, right there, this pair right here. All right. And so better believe as you increase the bank and you pull back and you've got more angle of attack to go, that load gets crazy. So like think about the load here. Oh, I still have to watch this Into Thin Air case study. Dude, and I gotta play that Infinite. All right. F-16 Viper demo 2021. I want the cockpit view. Yeah. Think about the load that this pilot is subjected to, right? If we know that load, if we know that lift and load are related, they're correlated, equal magnitude, opposite direction as a force pair, and the more bank that you put in, the more lift that you produce, and the more lift you produce, the more load you produce, then the amount of bank that you put in, you know, there is a correlation in terms of in level flight. There's a correlation between the bank that you put in and the load that you impose. So let's look at the bank angles that this pilot is gonna subject himself and his airplane to, and imagine the load that is being imposed. This F-16, you know, is producing a ton of lift, and the proof is in the clouds that are gonna be over this wing. You know, as we said, the more lift that can be produced is coming from the more angle of attack that you produce, the more the lower the pressure on top and the higher the pressure on the bottom. So the thing about low pressure is you lower that the pressure, and you also lower the temperature. Anytime you take the pressure down, anytime the pressure decreases, the temperature also decreases. So what's happening is there's so much lift that this guy's gonna produce, and there's such a low pressure over the top of this wing that the air is brought to is cooled to its dew point. That the temperature of the air flying over the wing is actually brought to its dew point, and look at the heat coming off of that thing. That's just on startup, dude. The air is the temperature of the air is brought to its dew point, and the air is saturated. The moisture in the air gets pushed out, and you form clouds over the top. So as we're going to get this cockpit view of this airplane, we see the lift being produced when we're looking at those clouds. And if we can see the lift, we can imagine the load, especially if there's like a 90-degree bank going on. That's why these guys wear these pressure suits. I would love to see this. This is this Viper, F-16 Viper. I would love to see this at some air shows this coming year. I believe they were at the one in Chino, near my house. Chino has a world-class air show that they do. I know Miramar is one. What's another one that's out here? March Air Force Base. So I don't know where the next Viper demo is going to be, but seeing this F-16 fly is just insane. It's so crazy that a single engine like this can be as loud and thunderous as this, but it is loud, especially when it's an afterburner. Oh my. Crazy. Imagine being qualified to fly the F-16. Like, single pilot. Like, dude. Crazy. And not only to fly the airplane and be a master of flying this airplane, but just being, like, knowing the systems and managing. Of course, Google has to fucking, like cockblock us here. But not only that, but from a systems management standpoint and doing, you know, wait, what the fuck? Oh. All right, here we go. Again, we're looking at the lift that's being produced over the leading edges or over the tops of the wing. And we're looking at as evidenced by the amount of lift being produced as evidenced by the condensation and the clouds that are formed over the tops of the wing. as an artifact of that low pressure and that lift that's being produced. But remember, what the point of what we're doing is, in looking at that lift, we will see we can imagine the loads that are accompanying that lift, because the G load is the force pair associated with that lift. Right, there's the clouds. That lift is insane. Angle of attack is really high. Not right now, though. And there we go. Angle of attack is high. It's so high, actually, that look at the bank angle, by the way. Even though he's descending, it's still a crazy high angle of attack. I want you to notice, though, that the angle of attack is so high that the computers in this wing have to, or I don't know, the wings, it's not in the wing, but I mean the componentry, I don't know where the computer is, but I'm assuming that it's in the brain of the airplane. The componentry is, the computer knows that if it doesn't change the shape of the wing, that angle of attack is easily, that critical angle is easily reached. So what it needs to do is drop down those leading edges and trailing edge as well, and reshape that wing so that angle of attack stays below critical. And that's why you see here, when he flattens out and reduces that angle, see how it flattens out on its own? It's flat, and now boom, now it's actually not that big. It's relatively not loaded, razor sharp, razor thin. Jesus Christ. See that? Look at that leading edge is so broad, and like, there you go. And then unloaded, see, now it folds back in, now it's razor thin, and then boom, drops down like that. Nice. Holy shit. I bet that dude's doing 500 knots or 600 knots. Look at the wing just like shaking, dude. Holy hell. Damn, dude. I can watch this all day. Alright. There's very high angle, or angle of attack. High, you know, very steep. I mean, it's like that's a 90-degree bank angle. Low altitude, high speed. Jesus. Ooh. Wow. I'm you know what's the most impressive thing to me is the flexion of the rigidity and the flexion of the wings, and the strength, you know, of this structure. You could see this high angle of attack. Look at the clouds, right? Evidenced by the extremely low pressure over the wing. Very high angle of attack. A lot of lift going on. Ton of loading, of G loading. I want you to notice that the lift is also causing the high. It's so high pressure underneath the wing that the wing is actually flexing. Kind of crazy. You'll see here in a second, because you see it flex back when it's unloaded again. Here you go. Right. Let's see here. You can see it shaking. When he pulls out of it, right there, look at it flex up and then unflex. Like, that's wild, dude. Those wings look like they're just ready to break. So much low pressure. Look at all the moisture, just all the cloud formation over the wing. So this guy's got like a crazy pressure suit on. Like, I can't imagine that this is anything less than 7 Gs, 8 Gs. That the load is 7 or 8 times this guy's weight, if not more than that. I mean, when you're talking about a 90-degree bank angle and you know, 600 knots or 700 knots or something like that. I mean, dude, that's got to be 10 Gs, 9 Gs. Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. 9 Gs, like right there. Damn, that's a pretty fucking good guess, dude. Ooh, dude. I'd be out there like holding my steak up with a fork to barbecue that mess right there, dude. Making maybe a bacon wrapped hot dog, dude. Just holding that up. Just be like, thank you. Just cooking it, dude. Yeah. Damn. Oh. Ooh. Awesome. Jesus. What's that? Shark's tooth? What? Seems like they put the audio from the ground in with this at this they synced it up, which is awesome. Oh, I see. It's kind of like a high G, like a corkscrew kind of maneuver, I think. High Alpha, the rocket launch. Jesus Christ, that sounds super fun. Oh, high. Yeah, so this is high angle, and then he's just gonna go like a afterburner full climb. Dang. And then like magic, he's at like 10,000 feet. Gnarly little Cuban 8 right there. Damn. I just think it's so mesmerizing to watch the clouds form over the wings. Damn, imagine being somebody parking your car in that parking lot and you're like arguing with your spouse. I thought I saw a spot down there. You always say that. Well, there was one down there, and then boom, the sonic boom of this F-16 just like doing 700 knots like 400 feet above you, dude. Holy moly. This guy is such a badass. Wicked. Yeah, baby. Wow. I also love that video because, I mean, dude, look at this freaking airplane, dude. No, I love that video because of the cockpit view is just so perfect for looking at the lift. Because this makes me feel like this is Chino. I feel like that is an airplane that's stored in Chino. Where even is this? Holy shit, this is Chino. Dude. Planes of Fame. I might have even been at this show. Whoa. I was gonna say, dude, like, that's so funny, man. I was like, dude, that Saber is at... I've seen it at Chino. Now, I'm assuming that it goes to different places over the country, but, dude. That's cool, man. That's cool. So, anyway. How airplanes turn and the concept of, you know, the load, the pair of lift and load, okay? Now, other, like, kind of things to note here on, like, how airplanes turn is, like, assuming that the aircraft is in coordinated flight throughout the banking and throughout the turn, the horizontal component and the centrifugal force are also pairs right here and right here. And assuming the aircraft is maintained in the quality of turn is such that it is coordinated throughout the turn, these vectors, these components will be balanced. Now, if the aircraft is, let's say, like in a turn, like especially a steep turn, a common error in a student, a pilot, you know, learning how to do a steep turn, a proper steep turn, is not enough rudder. You know, or sometimes too much rudder. But I mean, a lot of the time it's not enough rudder. They're concentrating on the bank and the sight picture, and oh, not enough back pressure. It's like, oh, I'm climbing. Oh, the power. Oh, the trim. They forget about their feet, and so what happens is the airplane starts to slip, and that horizontal component kind of gets pulled more to the inside, and there's not enough rate of turn. In the turn, there's not, the rate of turn is insufficient for the amount of bank that you have. So, you know, what happens is you have this condition right here where the forces are imbalanced, and that horizontal component is pulling the ball in the inclinometer to the inside of that turn coordinator instrument, and we're slipping. So once we apply the rudder that we need, we can restore that centrifugal force and bring the aircraft into balance. So imbalances, and this is the skidding turn, you know, too much rudder, and you have the centrifugal force, you know, throwing the ball to the outside. So yeah, imbalances in these horizontal components here, and in this pair of forces, this with this horizontal lift and centrifugal force is will affect the inclinometer, and departures from coordinated flight will be due to imbalances in horizontal lift and centrifugal force. That's another major concern. Not just the loading, but you know, where does what does coordinated flight mean in a turn? Okay, and we talked about the vertical component and the weight being balanced, or you know, how are we restoring vertical lift such that the weight is not winning that battle in this force pair? What kind of angle of attack can we apply to the wing to generate the lift to restore that vertical component, so that the length of that vector, as representing the magnitude of the representing the magnitude of that component, is such that, you know, it is matched with the weight. All right, and what kind of angle of attack, what kind of lift do we need to be producing to you know, to maintain that vertical component so that we're maintaining our altitude. All right, and there we go. That is that's how airplanes turn, and that's where G loading comes from. So we'll get in the airplane, and next Wednesday, we'll talk about the left turning tendencies and where they come from and what how we can remedy them. And then finally on the 29th, we will talk about stability. We're going to finish up the aerodynamics month with stability and some of the design features of the aircraft that lend themselves to certain stability, certain behaviors. So like what are the aircraft design characteristics or qualities like of that go into aircraft design that lend themselves to longitudinal stability or lateral stability or directional stability. What are the things about the airplane that make it stable on a particular axis? So yeah, we'll finish up the month with stability. All right. So for now, let's get in the airplane. Let's figure out what we're gonna do actually. So I think, let's see here. What I'd like to do is get in the 200 out of Chino and fly IFR to John Wayne, I think, and see how fast that is, see how fast that goes. Let's see if there's something. Oh, you know what? I bet that's that's got to be a tech route. Let's see. Of course it is, dude. Hold on. And then we'll go from John Wayne to somewhere, but I want to see Chino to John Wayne here with ATC. What am I doing here? Oh, yeah. Let's look at the tech route in the chart supplement. Chart supplement. Where is it? Where is it? Why is it always impossible for me to find this thing, dude? I know I was just using it. It's in order of when I was using it. All right. Let's look at tower en route from Chino to John Wayne. And just go fast. Whoa. All right. So Chino, it's from the Empire area. CNO to SNA. Right. Gotcha. Oh, shit. Check this out, dude. The jets, the turboprops, the fast pistons, and the slower pistons are all kept together at 4,000 feet. Damn! This is kind of cool, though. The Ontario Papa 10. It's not the slowest, or it's not the shortest little route there. Let's map this right here. Paradise, 27 radial. What was that? 270. Paradise to Randall. What is that all about? Let's look at Paradise to Randall. So KCNO. What? Oh, this will be 200, I guess. And probably not 17,000. It's going to be 4,000 feet. And KSNA. Could not compute climb and descent. Try a lower cruising altitude. What? No. Don't tell me how to live my life. You're not my mom. All right, there's, oh, wait, actually that is kind of fast. There's Randall right there. And then what is this? Oh, yeah, tech route. What is it? It's Chino to John Wayne, Ontario. Randall 363 to Poxku. So 363 to Poxku. Oh shit, that is pretty fast, dude. And then Poxku Victor 8 to Seal Beach. Oh, interesting. Well, the question is, are they going to make me do this? I doubt it, because then that would be this. So I want to say, looking at the ILS, 20 right, Tusty, is Tusty even on here? Yeah, Snake is, Poxku, Prado, Dyers. Okay, so then that means that Snake is like actually out here. There's Lemon. Okay. Hookum. Okay, so these points are along the ILS right here, which is weird because what? Why? That's also not. Whoa, that's weird. See this right here? 183. That's the localizer symbol, but that's not. That's like the LDA. That's not the local. The localizer is 196, not 183. So I wonder if the LDA is 183. Whoa, weird. I never noticed that until right now. You know, I've seen this chart like a million times, and it's like, you know, you would assume that it's the ILS that's charted. Like this is a back course localizer. So you would think that that's the localizer that's charted, but it's not. It's the actual LDA. Like this is your ILS. What's going on this magenta line, not the shaded. Whoa, that's super weird. I did not notice that. So this is apparently what's going on, but I do not think that is seriously what they're gonna do. I'll bet you that they're going to. Hello? Okay, this thing's being a dodo. I'll bet you that is what's going to happen. I'll bet you, I wonder, looking at the ILS from Poxku, and that is Hookum. So Poxku is like right there. Pfft, dude. Yeah, that's kind of cray-cray. That's a pretty fast one, dude. And I'll bet you that's not 200. I bet that we're doing one. Well, we probably want to be geared down speed, right? So probably 180. 10 minutes? Shit. Katie, you see that? At 180 knots, the Chino to John Wayne is 10 minutes. So, I mean, it's great, but, you know, I'll be ready to go with my like 50 or 40 hours in 500 years. It's all good though. So let's go ahead and do that then, man. I'm going to figure on John Wayne or Chino to John Wayne. And then what we're going to do is do like kind of a gnarly one. We'll go John Wayne to somewhere real. Let's go some John Wayne to where? I'm thinking maybe San Diego? Or no, let's do maybe Palm Springs. John Wayne to Palm Springs. So K. KSNA to PSP. Right, so from the bottom. So, oh, this is actually the 200 right here. That's us. So there you go. Greater than that is how we're actually getting to Palm Springs. So it's the Muscle 8, Seal Beach, Nickel, Victor 64 Thermal. We're going from the south. We're going around the south side up to what I'm assuming is probably the localize. Is it a localizer approach? Yeah, thermal. Maybe the RNAV. No, it's not the RNP. It's got to be the VOR. Going down to 1800. Damn. It's a pretty tough spot to come in IFR. See that? First of all, it's a VOR approach, so you're responsible for your own vertical guidance. But you're going down. The missed approach point is the foot of the runway. And you're only afforded, you're only going down, you're circling down at 1,800 feet above the ground. Kind of crazy. Circling not authorized southwest of the runway. Yeah, no shit. It's a 10,000, almost 11,000 foot mountain peak right there. The one interesting thing I'll say about this that I've seen before that I'm surprised I don't see here is on the missed approach, I've seen certain approaches be authorized only if you can perform the missed approach with a certain minimum climb performance, and you just don't see that here. You don't see any specified climb performance in the missed approach procedure here, so I'm just kind of surprised by that. Even though, you're going off, you're not going in this direction, you're going to the right, direct to Palm Springs, and then you're going Palm Springs and then the 124 to back to thermal. I'm just saying it's kind of, I don't know. I would expect that you'd need to get out of there, at a certain, at least minimum rate, even if it's 300 feet per nautical mile or something. I've seen Santa Barbara's San Bernardino's like that, where it's like, here's the, I want to say it's the ILS. Yeah, see, so the ILS has certain missed approach minimums here. Climb to 2,000, then a climbing turn to 6, so it's a missed approach procedure. And then to go down lower, so see how there are two sets of minimums here, like where that have an asterisk near them. What they're saying is missed approach requires a 300. You need to be able to do, in order to do this procedure, you need to be able to do 300 feet per nautical mile all the way up to 4,000 feet. And if unable to meet the climb gradient, then see the localizer Yankee. This is a feature. This is a localizer ILS or localizer Zulu that allows you to go down to 250 feet. It allows you to go down pretty low, But what they're saying is if you can't meet those climb performance, then yeah, then you got to take a look at the localizer runway sit Yankee, and then that you can go down instead of 250 feet above the ground. By the time, instead of being able to go all the way down there, only to find out that you don't have your criteria and you have to go missed, and now you're really delayed and you're closer to those mountains when you're doing your missed approach. Instead, if you can't meet those climb performance requirements, then you can do the localizer Yankee that takes you down, substantially less, substantially less. Instead of 250, it's 900 feet above the ground. Before you start, you have to start your missed approach earlier, basically. So that's kind of interesting. But so my point is I'm surprised that you don't see that with Palm Springs. Given that it's in the there are mountains all around you and stuff. Now we can't do these approaches because we don't have the equipment on board. We have authorization required. That is something unambiguous right there. We cannot do that. The equipment on board that we would need is something that's capable of flying curved GPS paths, which we are not capable of doing. It's a very highly accurate system that is I'm not sure if I'm not really sure what the technically like why it's so insane, but I mean it's a system that can fly these continuously, like these curved paths. I don't know if it's something to do with the math or something, or the rate that this is able to refresh back and forth from the satellites or something, but yeah, it's this type of required it's a special type of required navigation performance. Special type of required navigation performance in comparison to the normal RNAV approaches are RNAV, not RNAV RNP, but RNAV just regular GPS. Yeah, we can fly straight paths, no problem. You know what I mean? So, all right, cool. So that's what we'll do. We'll go Chino to John Wayne, and then from John Wayne to Palm Springs. John Wayne to Palm Springs is going to be, what did it say? Muscle. The Muscle 8 to Seal Beach, and then Nickel. Yo, Maxwell, what's up, dude? Hey, man, when are we going to fly, buddy? When are we going to fly? What's up? How's your schedule, dude? Are you, or are you, like, saving up and stuff, or what's the latest? We got to get you down here. We gotta take advantage of this cold weather, dude. The performance is really bomb. The air is nice and dense and cold. Whew, these planes are climbing like nobody's business down here at the cold air at sea level. Woo. So yeah, we're out of here, and then Muscle to Seal Beach, and then from Seal Beach, that's easy peasy. Victor 64. So we're out there to Muscle. Knuckly. Man, I've been so busy this day in the office, but man, we can see it next week. I have more time. Definitely, dude. Definitely. No rush, dude. Just being a silly Billy. Let me see if I could find. I'm trying to find Muscle here. Dude, we got to get you in the air, man. I want that for you, dude. Yeah, that's what's up. We got to get you. We got to get you going. The Muscle. Let's do it. Hold up. No, we'll do it, dude. We'll do it. And you know what? All things in due time, you know? Oh, muscle is out there. You know what? I'm gonna look pretty silly if it's on the low. Mids, minnow. Yeah, the 152 that we have is it's really stoked on this weather, dude. Ooh, it's on 061 from Catalina. There it is. There's muscle right there. Hey, I've been thinking about doing cross-country flight in the U.S. in Microsoft Flight Sim, full IFR procedures or VFR. So, yeah, I mean, dude, listen, you got one life, man. Like, do whatever you want, you know. I think just be smart about it. Like before you go do a bunch of stuff, especially if you listen. There are people on here that like know that they don't want to fly. They just like flying flight sim, and they don't care if they do things the right way or the wrong way, or sometimes the wrong way or whatever. If they want to f around, like it's all good, dude. Problem is you want to really fly. So, and that's not a problem, but you do need to be aware that, you know, like when it is an issue for people that come to their training with like a ton of sim time and they've been doing it wrong for years. And they're really good at doing it the wrong way. And it's like, fuck, you know, from my standpoint, dude, that is rough. That is really rough that I have to not only train you to do the right thing in a way that it's a highly technical thing to do. Landing a 152, I'm saying. Like, I'm not talking about flying an F-18, dude. I'm talking about landing a 152 is a highly technical thing for a student. And so not only that, but dude, if we have to unlearn a bunch of stuff that you've perfected doing it the wrong way, fuck, dude, you know? Now, the thing the truth of the matter is even somebody who's perfect, who can do the wrong thing perfectly, and we have to unlearn that, the reality is you have skills that are useful to both of us, you know? You have skills that are useful for you to learn the right way, and you have skills that are useful for the instructor to work with, to be like, no, it's this way. Remember, it's not that. Remember, don't do it like that. Do it like that. And you go, oh, that's right. That's right. So that's the reality too. It's not all bad, you know. But yeah. So with that being said, you know, just be careful and be good about how you do it, and just research like how to do it, you know. But I like it in general. Like, I really like the idea of, you know, you doing cross-country flying. You know what I would do is, if you really want to come out here and work with me, is go on Pilot Edge and fly VFR around here and fly out of Fullerton or fly out of Long Beach, and don't even cross-country. Like, I would get good at maneuvers. I would get good at slow flight, steep turns, get familiar with these airports and the airport layout, like, you know, develop good procedures, like get I don't know if you use ForeFlight or whatever, but if you don't use ForeFlight, print out airport diagrams and follow your position like as you taxi. Get a good solid pilot briefing going before you take off. Shit like that, that's way more important than being good at cross country. It is not about cross country, you know what I mean? we're trying to get you to to fly a perfect pattern. We're trying to, I use Volanta and Little Nav. I don't know what those are actually, but if you can do, are those apps, do they communicate with your sim? Because that'd be pretty rad if they did. Then there you go, man. Then there you go. So yeah, go. That's what I would do personally. I would. I would. Sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. I would do that. I would work on not cross countrying personally, especially IFR, like full IFR. Like, dude, what do you know? I mean, full IFR. What that means is completely beyond a student pilot's comprehension. It's not flying approaches and autopilot and knowing what the ILS frequency is and following the lines. That's not what it is. You know what I mean? It's pre-flight. It's looking at the weather. It's like, it's knowing your fuel requirements. It's regulations. That's really what IFR is. And anybody can fly an airplane and follow a line and say, "Look, I'm flying IFR." You have no idea what you're talking about. Not you. I'm saying somebody that is not as humble and is speaking totally out of turn. That's somebody that doesn't really have an appreciation for what they're talking about, So I think, and that's fine. But I just think that we need to understand when we say things like that, we say, "Oh, I didn't fly full IFR." Like I flew. Oh man, I tracked the localizer pretty good. Okay, cool. That's awesome. You use SkyVector for your flight plans. Sick. See, that's what I think. I think even more so. Yeah. I would think if you're already doing that, if you already have that means that you have the concept of, calculating a true course, a wind correction angle. You have variation in the area, magnetic variation, and then you derive a you derive a magnetic a heading that you're gonna fly, and you have the idea of like fuel burn and like time. You basically, you're familiar with dead reckoning, and the dead reckoning is important, but that comes way later, dude. That comes like after solo. Let's see here. One second, I have a student that just texted me about tomorrow's flight. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm really, really proud of this student. She's come a long way, and we're talking about a flight tomorrow that we've been trying to do for a while, and she's kind of like up and down a little bit. And so I think she's in a good place to go do it. And I forgot about one of the things we've been trying to do. I had a plan for tomorrow, and she's like, "Actually, I'd like to kind of try this because we were trying to do that." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah. So it's pretty cool to like let the student drive sometimes. Um, So, yeah, man, I think that especially if you're doing cross country stuff already, and if you have the concept of this dead reckoning, see, when you first learn how to fly, it's none of that. It is none of that. You know what I mean? It's really it's about pilotage, looking at where you're at, or looking outside, and looking at like based on what you see outside, and like recognizable terrain features and, visual reference points outside. Like, where are you with respect to those visual reference points outside? And therefore, like, where are you with respect to the airspace, like, around you? Because what you're going to do is find those visual reference points on the ground, which can be a variety of different things: airports, freeway intersections, terrain contour, like terrain contours, bridges, different things, many of which are actually charted on the charts. You want to know where you are with respect to those things, and then you can look on a chart where those things are, and where are you with respect to those things, and where's the airspace with respect to those things. And what you find is a lot of the time those visual reference points on the ground are used to mark airspace. And so that method of navigation and following freeways and getting the weather before you come up to this point, because this point defines the edge of certain types of airspace, that is really what pilotage is all about, and that's what you start with. That's why you don't start with cross country, because you don't know what's even going on. What even is airspace? What do you mean by rules? Like, visual flight rules. Like, what even is VFR? You don't even know what VFR is. So, yeah, dude, maybe in the 40s. Are you like carrying mail in like 1925 or something? No. Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's just fundamentally different skills, and that's where we would start. So I would start transitioning your thinking process, not to planning and, dead reckoning and all that stuff. Like, I would honestly be pattern work at local airports right here, being really good at understanding what radio work you need to be doing. Because out here it's a lot of radio work and transitioning and flight following and traffic advisories and stuff like that in a radar environment. And then maneuvers, slow flight, steep turns, power on, power off stalls, maneuvering in slow flight, and the visual and flying by reference to sight pictures, right? Flying by visual reference to what the horizon is doing with respect to static ports or parts of the airplane, pieces of the airplane. Like, what's the horizon doing with respect to the nose, right? Or what's the horizon doing with respect to the wingtips, and making sure that you're aware of these different sight pictures and using no instrumentation at all to know what the airplane is doing. That's really what basic flying is. Yeah, exactly. The gap, right? Like, you and I, like, what we'll talk about is the gap, and like, when you're trying to climb, like, where the horizon is, like, with respect to like, to the instrument panel, in the bottom corner of the windshield, right? In the little triangular portion of the in the corner when you're climbing, and the horizon is below the instrument panel. Or like when you're in cruise, it's like a little gap, or when you're in a descent, it's like a wider gap. But you don't want to just open that gap in a descent with the constant power setting, because now you're going too fast. So what we're trying to do is, by sound and by feel and by sight of the outside, not the instruments, we're trying to descend at a normal and not pick up all this energy, because now you're like fighting the airplane down. And so the best way to like learn how to land is like, reducing power and like retrimming as the nose comes down, and like slowly opening up that gap, but don't do it in a way where now you're picking up all this speed. You got to reduce some more power and work the airplane down. Those are the skills that you should be practicing. All right. So I'm sorry, you guys. So Victor, Nichols 64 to thermal. There we go. And then thermal to Palm Springs. Sick. That's the route right there. Pretty straightforward. Looks kind of boring, actually. It's a straight line. Seal Beach to thermal, and then thermal on the VOR approach. So let's do it. grab my water. Let's fill out. Actually, hold on. When I'm landing, I just look at the speed and try to feel more what the airplane's doing. Yeah, that's a good strategy because obviously, you can't feel what the airplane is doing. Like vibration is very important when you're flying in the real airplane. You use sound and vibration a lot, as a primary. You can feel the airplane getting all worked up or not. You can feel the controls in your hand. You're like, whoa, this is really sluggish, because it's like low energy, so you need to put more energy in. But it is about power settings, even in the sim, even though you can't feel. No, I'm gonna be in X-Plane actually tonight. Or yeah, probably X-Plane. I would be in the King Air 350, but the autopilot was like weird for me. Plus, I'm trying to get used to this King Air 200 right here and the speed. So the King Air, the King Air 200 I have in is in X-Plane. So let's do this. Is our route? No. Actually, let's go back. Yeah, so I hope that makes sense. The what I believe your goal should be, but by all means, whatever you. Either way, when you work with me, like that's what we're gonna be working on. Sweet. The Ontario 10. No, the Papa. Was it the Papa 10? Is that what it was? Yeah, the Papa 10. Okay, cool. Yeah. You could check it out right here. Yeah, it's gonna be really cool, man. I talked to the guy that is that I'm gonna be doing this with, and uh it's looking pretty good to be able to sit with him in this airplane and pick up some PIC time. So I just want to keep going at it, and read the documentation, and should be good. So yeah, the Ontario Papa 10. This is gonna go super fast, super fast. IFR. (8782) Romeo. The 20 slant golf. Probably 200, I imagine. We're just gonna keep it low. And Chino. Arriving SNA at 4,000. So crazy, 200 knots at 4,000 feet. And then tech route. It also feels weird to be doing a tech route in something like this. And flight plan. All right, cool. Now, what I want to do is, I guess that's it actually. Start X-Plane. I'm gonna grab my water and get my tablet, and we will get going. Dude, you like that shirt? Boom, dude. about that. All right. All right, guys, let's do it. Oh, and then the other thing that I want to break out those the procedures. So let's go through the flows, break out the let's see here, the study guide. This freaking dog is like barking, of course, right now. I wonder if I can actually. There we go. Okay, what do we got? The manual, pilot training manual. We need the cockpit reference. There it is. You bastard. Oh, you know what? Maybe I do want it in the. Okay. And I actually want it. Oh. Wait. How do I make it scroll? Maybe home? No. I'm trying to. make the pages scroll. I forget how to do that. Oh, duh. Hold up, wait. View and then a okay, exactly. Page display. Oh shit. Wait, where'd it go? Why is this not? What the fuck? Where does it go? See, I have this issue right here where it's like this is what I'm looking at, and when this is gone, see how this is like, you know, we can go page view, scrolling, and all that stuff. But open this up, and all of a sudden those go away, and we don't have a scrolling. And I want to just scroll, you know, like I don't want like, I guess I don't have to, but there's no zoom. It's so weird, dude. All right, well then screw this, and I will open it with maybe with Chrome. Maybe it's better. Wow. Okay. Dumb. All right. So meanwhile, let's get to. Oh yeah, one of the things I wanted to check out was there was like a diagram of the flow for the PIC versus the. Yeah, dude, look at these. It's so interesting. So what do we have here, right? We've got the pedestal, which is what? Cabin pressurization. We've got electric trim, rudder boost, something else. And then on the other side right here, we have EFIS, power, some other stuff right here. In here we've got, oh, and then the light, the autopilot stuff, and like heading bug, course selection, and all that stuff is right here. Throttle, prop, condition. We've got trim tabs, like trim knobs right here. I want to say it's aileron and rudder. And what else? Okay, we've got trim on that side, the electric elevator trim. Man, okay. Shit, I have to like go up from left to right, from right to left. We go up, and then man, I forget. I think it's the icing stuff maybe right here. There's a bunch of switches right here, and this is all engine stuff. Circuit breakers for sure, and then instrumentation, no problem. Up in the top, we've got battery electrical stuff, and light. Basically it's all the lighting is up here, but yeah. Meanwhile on this side it's circuit breakers, oxygen, cabin pressurization, and environmental switches are here, with the blower, the aft blower, and something else. Right here is, damn, I want to damn, I forget. This is all environmental stuff, and then instrumentation here. So that's actually pretty cool. Normal procedures. We need before start. Oxygen stuff. I think it does. I think it does. Now, the other thing that I noticed too is this has you walking through like a lot of like shit that with this fuel stuff. So that I don't think I mean, I probably need to be familiar with, but I can't imagine you're doing that. Maybe you are. I don't know. This right here, fuel system check, quiet ramp procedure. I don't know what that means, but you know, battery on. It will make sense if it's correlated with the checklists. Yeah, that's true. Battery on, left, right, fuel pressure, and ice vane extend, annunciators illuminate. So battery on, fuel pressure, illuminate. Firewall shutoff valves, those red switches, close. Standby pumps on, listen for the operation. Firewall shutoff valves open. Fuel pressure annunciators extinguish. Standby pumps off. Crossfeed alternate left and right. We have to make sure that the crossfeed illumination is good. Crossfeed off. Aux tank transfer auto. Fuel system check. Oh, noisy ramp procedure. So this would be like noisy ramp. So I wonder that's like if your passengers are on board maybe or something. And this is noisy as if it's like single pilot, or you know, if it's an empty airplane. Standby pumps CBs. I don't know what that is. Valves closed, standby pumps on, battery switch on, fuel pressure, firewall closed. So pretty much the procedure is shut off valves close, pumps on, battery on, and then standby pumps off. Okay, so maybe we can do that. This doesn't seem like it's going to take too long. Battery switch on, fuel quantity check, hydraulic fluid sensor, hydraulic fluid flow annunciator. I remember seeing that beacon on, landing annunciator stall warning. Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know what? We can do that. We can do that. That doesn't seem like it takes that long, actually. Now that I know that it's there and that it's not. It was surprising yesterday. I was like, what the, why? What are we even doing? What is all this shit? Because it was the first time I'd ever seen it. All right, so we'll just start there. Oxygen, everything is passenger briefing. Yeah, so normal procedures before starting. So we'll start right there. Just want to organize it here. All right. Cool. So let's get the fuel in there. Let's make this plane heavy too. All right. And it's going to be Chino. Let's go scattered. I kind of want to, I like to see, as I'm getting familiar with this airplane, I like to see like what is going on. Just make it during the day. And then we'll go Chino will be, these are all in the hangar apparently. So let's go, Chino right now is when calm, but we can just take off one of the 2 6s straight out to Randall. And really quick, let me actually just I was gonna check my Navigraph, but it's fine. Cool, we'll start there and start without the engines running. And looks good. Let's do it. So we filed our flight plan to Chino, or excuse me, to John Wayne on the Ontario Papa 10. We have probably just barely enough time to get to John Wayne and then to get our IFR clearance from John Wayne to Palm Springs. So we'll take it from there. Oh, and then we could actually do this in 4-flight too. All right, let's try that again. It didn't work. Sweet. There it is. Awesome. And let's go ahead and break out the charts here and put it in 4-flight. Whoa. Sweet. So we're going to be at 4,000 feet right there. You can see it in the bottom left. We're going to be KCNO to KSNA. And NOTAM for... So effective, we're right in the middle of it. And the airport is closed at 11 p.m. from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. So that's fine. Yeah. I wonder if it's open, but it's just considered non-towered. I wonder if it's like the... All right, so this is it right here. Wait, what the hell? See, the Ontario Papa 10 has you going to Chino to Paradise. Oh. I see. So it's not Chino to Randall, it's Paradise. It's Chino to Paradise, and then from Paradise to Randall, I guess. I imagine its radar vector is Randall. So, anyway, that's kind of odd. I wonder what they're going to really do. See that? Like, instead of going Chino straight out, you know, to that point right there, it actually has you going to so I don't know. We'll see what they give us in the clearance, but I'll bet you we're straight out to Randall. So, we'll see. And then procedures into John Wayne is going to be the ILS 20, right? From I don't even know, dude. Probably Sauger. And then I'm assuming Seal Beach will be deleted. And Aheim is deleted as well. Um, I'm gonna get rid of the shit, man. God damn. Hold up. That looks so nasty. What the hell? Let's try that again. First of all, KCNOKSNA. Let's just try and just go Ontario Papa. Jesus. And then we'll just go from there. I'm not even gonna put the approach in, dude. We'll just look at it on the plates right here. We got it. And then we got John Wayne like ready to go. We also have Chino ready to go right there. There we are. Sweet. Yeah, it's crazy, man. But you know what? Like that's I'm not using any like Navigraph or anything like that. I am for the GPS inside here, but dude, this is just my ForeFlight. You know, it's the ForeFlight that I use in my actual instruction, and so doing stuff like this like is really helpful to just my general organization and capabilities. Helping me remember like what capabilities are. So yeah, it's pretty incredible. Okay. Let's try and that'd be great if I could like back this off or something. Okay, so the fuel circuit breaker panel are in. See, but that's not where the flow starts. The flow starts here, and it goes up, down, and around. So I think the flow when you're initially starting is making sure that everything is all off. So like, um, in terms of making sure everything's off, like that is not set. We've got the electric trim is off. The EFIS is off. Trims are set. Flaps are up. Everything is, well, actually. Oh shit. Oh damn. My yoke wasn't plugged in. Oh, are we good? Oh shit, nice. No, we're good. We're good. So conditions are cut off. Props are full forward. Our throttles are idle. Flaps are up. And then coming back this way, lights are off. And in auto is off, battery's off, mic is there. We've got these are all off. And everything's good there. Come back up this way. Everything's off. Okay, cool. And then Copilot, circuit breakers are all in. Oxygen. Oxygen level's good. The co-pilot air and cabin cockpit air is good, and cabin temp is off. Bleeds are off, and everything is off. Cool, man. All right, so I guess that's the flow. I mean, that's just making sure everything's off, but then see the it starts us off here at the circuit breakers. Circuit breakers are all in, fuel circuit breakers in particular. Fuel system, those are all in, okay? Compass control slaved. Where even is that, by the way? Is that like down here? Is that what that is? This right here? I don't know. Got me on that one. Type 1 prop sync is, let's just make sure that the prop sync is off. Mic selector is normal. Okay. Parking brake confirmed set. Set. Engine ice vanes extended. Let's go chart off. There we go. Power levers. Prop is full. Condition cut off. Okay. Trim. Elevator aileron trim set. All the trims are set. Gear extension is stowed. Pedestal. Cabin pressure switch press. Cabin pressure. So. Oh, maybe that's what this is. Oh, see, cabin pressure. You can. Oh, that's weird. So press. Gotcha. Rudder boost switch on. See, now we are starting down here, actually. Rudder boost on. Elevator trim switch on. Pressurization controller set. Yeah, dude. Max, we are actually starting down here. And we are, we're good. We're only at 4,000 feet, so we're good there. Compass control slaved. Cabin sign, no smoke. But see, cabin sign's out there. Vent blower, auto. But see, we're starting here, and we're like doing this now. So it's all good. But see, we haven't even checked oxygen yet, so we're not even truly doing that flow yet. I don't know, man. I don't know. Bleed air's off. Okay, bleed air's off. Cabin control off. Temp control. Co-pilot air as required. Mic switch normal. Okay. Oxygen confirm. We did. All of the switches off. Check. Pilot static air source normal. Right there. Sweet. Or, well, pilot static air. Where's... I don't know where that is. So, okay. Fire extinguisher checked. Fuel system check. Okay, let's do that. Let's do the quiet ramp one. Battery on. Sweet. Firewall, the shut-off valves closed. Okay. Standby pumps on. And I can definitely hear them. Firewall, shut-off, the valves open. Okay, they're open. And standby pumps off. And we do have the fuel pressure illumination right there. Oh, with those, oh, I see. Listen for the annunciator. So the standby, so with these closed and the pumps on, we should have seen some, there we go. So there's the illumination that we were looking for. And then with these closed, or open rather, and these off, we should get the illumination back on. Okay, cool. And they did extinguish, and then those are coming back on now. Standby pumps off. Okay, cool. Crossfeed, alternate left and right. We should get crossfeed. Left. And are we getting fuel crossfeed, annunciator illuminates, and right. Crossfeed is on. Sounds good. Okay, and the illuminator's right there. Aux tank auto. Oh, and then, well, we should put that back to off, correct? Okay. Fuel quantity. Oh, that was the, oh. Fuel. So crossfeed alternately left and right. Fuel crossfeed annunciators illuminate. left right fuel pressure and annunciators extinguish. Oh, interesting. So let's go and cross feed those. So cross feed annunciators should illuminate, and then left right fuel pressure extinguishes. Is there something I'm missing here? Cross feed alternate left and right. Unless, yeah, standby pumps off. So the standby pumps are off. And then cross feed alternately left or right. Fuel cross feed annunciators should extinguish apparently. Okay. Just not modeled, I guess. Cross feed is off. Aux tank transfer auto. Okay, we've got auto there and auto there. No transfer lights. Press to test. And those just aren't modeled actually. Standby pumps. Oh yeah, so then that's it. One of the green lights did extinguish. Well, the thing is the green light right there. So see, here's the cross feed is on, and then there's the green light right there that says the fuel cross feed. In general, that is on, and then we go to the center, and then boom, it extinguishes, and then we go to the right, and it comes back on again. But the thing is when you go to, it says that when you go to the left, for example, that one of these should be off. So I guess that is just something not, totally, yeah, unless I'm misreading it actually, so I don't know. So we don't need to do the noisy ramp procedure, we just did that. Okay, cool, so battery on. Battery is on. Fuel quantity, check main. Okay, cool, sounds good. Hydraulic fuel pressure sensor, fuel flow, hydraulic fluid flow annunciator. Check. Beacon on. Check the load meters. All right, we got volts and frequencies. So landing gear handle lights tested. Annunciators tested. How do we test the annunciators? Maybe up here? No. I don't see like an annunciator test anywhere. Maybe here? Oh yeah, baby. So there's the annunciator lights are all illuminated, and then tested there as well. Right, so there's that one, and then this one, and then terrain inhibit. Okay, cool. Annunciator stall warning tested. Fire detectors before starting engine checklist complete. Starting engines with battery. Right engine ignition on. Okay. And then N1 rotation, ignition is on. Fuel pressure extinguishes. Prop begins to rotate. N1 stabilized. Oil pressure rises. Good. And then low idle. Cool. Ensure fuel flow between 135 and 150. See, that's the thing, is like it doesn't rise actually that much. It should be over here. ITT and N1 monitor 1000. Okay, cool. 1000 max. Right oil pressure. So we just look at our instruments here. ITT, torque. ITT, torque, RPM is good. N1, fuel flow, temperature, pressure is good. Right condition lever is high idle. Torque is increasing, RPM increasing, temperature pressure stable. Oh, dude, totally, man. Right ignition is off. And I don't want to do that in this sim because I think it's not modeled correctly. What happens is the engine actually shuts off for some reason. So I believe let's just try it. Let's just try it. Shuts off. There we go. Right generator on. Charge battery should go off. This should go off. And then, oh no, on charge battery and then off. When load meter reads approximately 0.5. Oh, interesting. Okay. So we got some load here, and I just think it's not coming up to what it needs to be, but it's just probably, I don't know. So, and then off. All right, left ignition on. Let's do it. All right, we've got the N1 rising, pressure's rising. Left ignition is on, pressure extinguishes, prop rotates, N1 is stabilized. Let's go. Left is low. Excellent. We've got ITT, torque, prop, N1, fuel flow, temperature, pressure is good. And then right generator on, apparently again. As N1 accelerates, and then low idle. Oh, I should have done the right generator first and then low idle. Ensure fuel flows between battery charge illuminates. Okay, we got battery charge illuminates right there. Left oil pressure checked. Left ignition start off. That extinguishes. Ensure all engine gauges are normal. Left generator reset and then on. Okay. Either generator off. Battery charge. So either generator off. Voltmeter ensure 28. Yep, there's 20, or well, it's a little bit below 28, but it's all good. Battery switch off momentarily. Note load meter decrease. Really? Okay, definitely. If decrease exceeds 2.5%, so continue charging, repeat the above steps. Oh yeah, that is charging. Wow, that's weird. Battery charge annunciator. Extinguish when load meter. Wow, and it did extinguish. What the fuck? This is crazy. It's charging. It was charging, dude. And that did extinguish. Battery continue recharging, repeat, charge annunciator, extinguish when load meter decrease. Okay, right condition lever. Well, and then should be battery on. And then this should be low idle. So my hope is that this right engine doesn't stop like it did randomly last time. Or maybe not randomly and I'm just doing it wrong. Now this battery, this checklist should tell me to turn the battery on at some point. Engine clearing, inverters checked. See, at what? Yeah, see, so... I'm going to say battery on and then... There you go. Okay. I hope I didn't screw that up. Now, inverters checked. Damn, that inverter was on. Shit. Okay. Inverter 2 on. Oh, verify inverter extinguishes. Check that inverter voltages, frequencies within tolerance. Inverter 2. Verify inverter extinguishes and that... okay, so let's do... Cool. Alright, load meters. They are paralleled within 10%. They are paralleled within 10%. They're actually at 10%. That's pretty cool. Avionics master on. So the real test, if I screwed up that that radio or the avionics or something, is how Pilot Edge sounds right now. And we're probably going to only have the ability to catch Pilot Edge before they close going to John Wayne. So it is what it is. But I think that was a good startup. So ATIS is 1, 2, 5... Oh, avionics master on, external lights as required. So let's do... yeah, it's going to be landing, taxi, nav, recognition. Actually, let's leave the landing off and just go nav and recognition and strobe. That'll be fine. And then cabin lights, bleed airs on, of course. Temperatures on auto. Cabin temperatures required, instruments, brake de-ice. Bleed airs open, pneumatic gauge. Oh yeah, we got to check our pneumatic gauge here. So we're gonna go left off, and that illuminates. Pressure stays the same. Right off, that illuminates. Pressure goes to 0. Left on, that extinguishes. Pressure comes back, and then on, it extinguishes, and that goes to 0. Or that maintains. That's good. Condition levers, low idle. We're good there. Flight controls, free and correct. Flaps are up. Oh, and let's go check our full down. Alright, flaps are full down and looks good over there. And let's go up to approach. Okay. Alright, nice. And then let's go up. Cool, flaps up there and up over there. Awesome. Brakes, release and check before takeoff in the run up. Okay, cool. So we'll go and turn on EFIS and get our ATIS and our clearance here. So 12585, and then ground is 121.6.
Chino information line. 1800 Zulu weather. Wind calm. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 4000 scattered, temperature 13, dew point -15. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runways 26 left, 26 right, departing runways 26 left.
Alright, so we'll
26
depart
right.
26 right.
Advise on initial contact, you have Mike.
We have Mike, and we're gonna go IFR to SNA. Dude, absolutely, Max. Hey, thanks for hanging out, man. I mean, you know, worst case scenario, it's a good startup lesson. Happy flying to you as well, dude, and we'll talk soon, man. Always a pleasure, dude. Always a pleasure. I hope this pilot edge works.
Connected to pilot edge.
Alright, if it didn't work, if we fried something, then it's going to be echoing right now. Let's call up Chino Ground. Chino Ground, King Air 8782 Romeo, North Ramp, requesting IFR John Wayne. Ooh.
Flexion 82 Romeo, Chino Ground, clear to John Wayne Airport. On departure, flight heading 250, radar vectors Paradise. As filed, maintain 4000. Departure frequency 135.4, squawk 3466.
Thanks for putting that together. 8782 Romeo, clear to John Wayne, heading 250 on departure. Radar vector is Paradise, 4000, 135.4, 3466 for 8782 Romeo.
82 Romeo, is that correct?
Thank you, and we're ready for taxi runway 26 left. Or 26 right.
What's your position? I advise you have the ATIS.
We have information, Mike, and we are at the north ramp.
82 Romeo, roger, runway 26 right, taxi via Delta Alpha Papa, cross runway 21 at Alpha.
Alright, that's Delta Alpha Papa, cross 21 at Papa 8782 Romeo. So let's take a look at that. Delta, this is where it's really nice to draw on the chart.
Santa Monica Tower, Walker 463, clear the runway, Alpha 3, parking Atlantic. Walker 463, taxi to parking, have a good night. Taxi to parking, good night, Walker 463.
He said Delta, ooh. Delta Papa, or Delta Papa cross 21 at Papa. Right there is essentially what we're doing. Delta Alpha Papa cross 21 at Papa. Cool. Right, let's go. And parking brake off. We'll situate ourselves in the run up. I'm just gonna turn around here. It's really, really crucial that we get ourselves ready for John Wayne in the run-up as soon as possible, because this is going to go super, super fast. I'm really happy with that startup, though. I mean, it's kind of a hefty startup, but honestly, a few more times of that, and I'm starting to see what's going on. I think the main trick is just remembering, start up the right engine, turn the right generator on, and then look at what's going on electrically, and then turn the right generator off for the left engine start. Left engine start with the right generator on, apparently. And we are clear runway 21. Yeah, so apparently the left generator comes on before you bring the right engine, or I'm sorry, no. Apparently the right generator comes back on before the left engine is brought into low idle. It's just left there turning, apparently, which I thought was interesting. But nonetheless, you bring the low or the left engine into low idle. Check your systems, and then generator on, I believe. Let's go in the run up here. Okay, toes down, parking brake is on, and we are in the run-up. First thing, let's set that. So heading 250. Heading 250. Okay, heading 250, Paradise Direct. So it's gonna be 120 or 122 or 112.2, and then 111. I want to say the ILS is 111.75. Yeah, 126.0 is the ATIS there. 126.0. But that is 111.75. That's ready to go. That's gonna, this number 2 is gonna be Seal Beach on 115.7. Alright, and final approach course of 196. We're going to leave all that for now. He said 135.4, good. 3466. 3466, 4000. I'm gonna try and hand fly this, but I will set that 4000 right there. And then radar vectors, Paradise Direct. But then it's gonna be, let's get rid of this. Paradise, oh shit. DZ. And then from Paradise, it's gonna be, well, ocean, what was that? The Ontario Papa 10 said, yeah, Randall. I think it was RNDL. No, hold on. What was it? It was RNDAL. And
Van Nuys ground, Cessna 737 Whiskey Alpha is on the north ramp close to the park with information Bravo and ready for taxi. Taxi.
737 Whiskey Alpha, Van Nuys ground, runway 16 right, taxi via
Auto, Poxcu.
Alpha Charlie to which runway did you give me direction to? 737 Whiskey Alpha? Yep.
7 Whiskey Alpha, runway 16 right.
Pox.
Alpha Charlie to 16 right, 737 Whiskey Alpha. Thanks.
Poxcu. And then I'm just going to say KSNA. Procedures at John Wayne. We're going to be doing the ILS 20 right from, I'm just going to say Seal Beach. And we're good there. Okay. So we're good. Let's go ahead and open up those run-up procedures. So avionics radar checked, pressurization checked and set, bleed air is open, cabin altitude is set, rate select set, cabin pressure switch hold in test. Okay, there's test. Check for descent indication. Okay, yeah, so we're not actually, there's nothing to test because we're not going to use it. Adjust autopilot, we'll do that another time. Elevator trim checked, a little bit of nose up actually. Pilot switches, trim quick disconnect, electric trim annunciator, illuminated, electric trim off then on. Okay, electric trim is on. Trim tabs, confirm set. Rudder boost is on. Governor test, hold in the governor prop test. And ITT torque limits observed. And then left until stable at 17. Or 1870 rather. Excellent. That looks like a torque of 250. Okay. From the left, we're gonna retard to detent and then full forward. So it's stable up there, and then full forward. Verify the RPM, control position at the top in the red.
Tower, Cessna 737 Whiskey Alpha, holding short of runway 16 right at Charlie.
Whoa, wait a second.
737 Whiskey Alpha, Van Nuys Tower, runway 16 right, clear for takeoff, straight out departure, wind calm.
Clear for takeoff, straight out.
Oh man, I screwed that one up big time. Hold up. That needed to stay put, and it was the prop lever that I needed to There we go. Now the prop lever, what we do is retard to detent and then full forward. And right at the top of the white hash, it should maintain 16. Oh, actually, we can even go further. Oh, see it? You can't. It goes. It should be 16 right here. Nice. And then full forward. Left power lever increase until rudder moves. Nice, and there's the drop in the okay. And then left idle. Okay. And then do the same thing with the right. Alright, cool. There's 850 or 1850, and we're going to bring this down and verify that it maintains 16. Good, and it does full forward. And then bring that up, and it goes back to where it was. And then let's go forward until it moves.
Whiskey Alpha, contact departure.
Over to departure, 737 Whiskey Alpha. Departure, 737 Whiskey Alpha is at 2,500.
Torque is fine.
737 Whiskey Alpha, still departure, radar contact.
As that torque comes up. And then there goes the, good, okay, great. And then back down.
Departure, 737 Whiskey Alpha, request to make a northwest...
Prop governor switch release.
Turn to the northwest that I can get established on the coastal
Auto
route.
feather, if installed, checked. Power levers approximately 500 foot-pounds of torque. Okay, approximately 500 foot-pounds of torque. And looks like we're right at that limit right there. Auto feather hold to test. And that's when we would hold that down, and then left auto feather enunciators come on, and they don't. Power lever retard, and then approximately 4 to 10 foot-pounds right enunciator extinguishes, and then at approximately 410 foot, let's bring this back down. At approximately 410 foot-pounds, right auto feather enunciator extinguishes, and then at 260 foot-pounds, both enunciators extinguish. Left power lever reset. Left power, so replace left power lever position, which eliminates both auto feather enunciators. Okay. Good. Okay, cool. So I see that. And then power levers retard to both, and then auto feather is off. Okay, is off. Prop feathering manual. All right, so check for positive and even response from both props. Okay, cool. So we can actually go back. All right, nice. Vacuum and pneumatic pressure was checked already. We went through that. System for ice flight. Automatic de-ice. Condition levers high idle. Pneumatic pressure check. Good. Condition levers low idle. Fuel quantity has been checked. And before takeoff, prop levers flaps set, trim set, bleed airs are on, aft blower as required. Aft blower is on. Generator load check, external lights, takeoff, power set. Okay, cool, sounds good. And we're holding short. Chino Tower, 8782 Romeo is holding short, runway 26 right at Papa, IFR departure.
So 37 Whiskey Alpha, Chino Tower, runway 26, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 26 right at Papa, King Air 8782 Romeo. Alright, here we go. Try and get these guys in the last 10 minutes here.
7 Whiskey Alpha.
As we take the runway, we're making sure that we are high idle, clear final.
134.9er, 737 Whiskey Alpha.
Alright. And toes down, runway heading, and then radar vectors.
Approach 737 Whiskey Alpha.
Airspeed is alive,
5,500.
systems are green.
737 Whiskey Alpha, SoCal approach clear through Bravo airspace, close to route southbound, maintain VFR 5,500, long in Bravo airspace, LA altimeter 3023.
We'll maintain 5,500.
Positive rate,
and
gear
clear through
up.
the Bravo 737 Whiskey Alpha.
And flaps up. Runway heading. Dude, Aviator, what's up, man? Alright, here we are, 1,000 feet away.
8782 Romeo, contact departure.
Over to departure, 8782 Romeo. SoCal departure, Cessna, or excuse me, King Air 8782 Romeo is 35 for 4.
Carry 782 Romeo SoCal departure, radar contact. Join Victor 363.
Join Victor 363, 8782 Romeo. Alright, Victor 363, you guys. We're already behind. 363 is... Yep. That is the Pomona 110-4. $111.75, and this is the one, oh shit. This is the 164. Oh shit, 164. Shit. And then Seal Beach is going to be the next one. There's Victor 364 right there. Seal Beach is the next one. I'm trying to hand fly this here. Gotta chill this thing out, man. Alright. Seal Beach is next. 15-7. Alright, brief our approach.
782 Romeo contact SoCal approach 128.1.
128.1, it's 8782 Romeo. 128.1. 128. We're not terribly behind, but we are behind. 828.1. It's a whole different ballgame when you're flying by hand, dude. SoCal approach, 8782 Romeo's 4000, getting the weather for John Wayne.
782 Romeo SoCal approach, just flight present heading. Effective approach runway 20 right to maintain 3000. John Wayne altimeter 3023.
Thanks for the altimeter. Present heading 4 down to 3, 8782 Romeo. Oof. Okay, heading set and descend maintain 3000. And that we are now on the approach. John Wayne, ILS. Oof, man. Okay. Um, 11.75, and that is 196. Good. 3000. Brief our approach. ID the nav aid. Oof, man. Okay. (8782 Romeo), you want me to go through?
82 Romeo negative flight at 200, report the airfield in sight at 1 o'clock, 10 miles.
8782 Romeo has the airport in sight, and then 200 to join.
82 Romeo clear to approach runway 20 right.
Requesting the ILS 20 right.
82 Romeo, you need to have that planned out up front. Flight heading 200 and max correction. Turn right heading 010 vector ILS runway 20 right approach.
Roger, maintain 3000, and then you said 3030.
030.
030 it is, 8782 Romeo, sorry about that.
Sorry about that. 82 Romeo, correction, heading 010.
You got it, 010, 8782 Romeo.
82 Romeo, clear direct Sager, cross Sager 3500, cleared out, that's runway 20 approach.
Alright, Sager at 3500, cleared ILS 20 right, 8782 Romeo.
Attention all aircraft, local time now 2300, all pilot edge control position is now closed. Class Alpha Bravo Charlie and Delta airspace procedures no longer in effect. All airborne aircraft operating IFR, monitor 122.75. All airborne aircraft within Class Bravo, Charlie or Delta airspace, monitor appropriate advisory frequency.
Damn, dudes.
Pilot edge will resume operations at 0800 local time.
Man, that is crazy fast, dude. Alright, there's Sauger, cross Sauger at 3005. So what we're going to do is cross Sauger, and then we're going to get ourselves in the hold. So we're going to have 111.75 ready to go. Dude, cruise check. Alright, ITT, torque, prop should be back. It's going to be a parallel entry in the hold. Oh my goodness. Right now I'm doing a really quick run from Chino to John Wayne, and then from John Wayne to Palm Springs. So yeah, we're just gonna, we got the airplane trimmed out. It's looking real good. So just want to make sure to stay here. And flaps are up. Actually, let's slow down to 200 for the approach flaps. We got 2 miles to Sauger. Cross Sauger at 3005. Shit, I need, shit, too heavy. Okay, flaps 1. And we need a bearing pointer number 2. The thing is I'm trying to fly this by hand. And so, bam. Okay, cool. Sauger to the hold. So, for 1 minute, we are flying on a 196 reciprocal. And then we're going to turn. That's going to be, what, 200 minus 40 is 160. When 1 minute is up. Actually, shit, we should have been timing it this whole time. So it's going to be 30 seconds, let's say. And we're below the gear speed, so that's good. Shit. Fuck. All right, there's 30 seconds right there. Turn left across for the parallel entry. Left heading 160. And then we need to switch to 196 right there. We have glide slope. This is like wild, dude. Something like this fast is like, holy shit. And we have the bearing pointer from Seal Beach. At least I have this airplane trimmed out pretty good, man. Shit. Want to close down that angle. And then Sauger to Snake is 3004. I want to activate that. $3,004. Hey, can you guys see the approach all right? I'll make it a little bit bigger if you need me to adjust it. So we briefed our approach. We're taking this thing down to a minimum of 255 on the ILS DA, 200 feet above the ground. Shit. And Mauser approach light type with a Pappy off to the left, where Sauger to Snake is 34. There's 34. And we have 1 minute to Snake. Snake is the 060 from Seal Beach. Right now we're looking at a 055. All right. Dude, Ninja, I appreciate the follow, man. Thank you so much. 060 is coming up. Sorry, I'm just like straight up in the zone, dude. So this is the furthest ahead of this airplane that I've ever been. Okay, we are at Snake here in 10 seconds, and that we got the bearing pointer for that. There we are right there. Shit. Alright, so we're Snake to Hookham is 2800. And you know what, we can just follow this down. Let's just try and trim this airplane out. And then final approach fix, glide slope intercept at Lemon. So we got Hookham and then Lemon. Excellent. Hookham and then Lemon. We're below 180. Let's go gear down. Okay. It's kind of tough to reconfigure with these inputs here, but not impossible. Bring in that glide slope nice and slowly. Looking for like a 700 foot per minute descent or something like that. Start really trying to slow this thing down. Bring that power back. I'm noticing that 100 foot-pound torque increments seem to be a nice rule, like power changes in terms of actually reducing power and like reconfiguring. It's actually quite nice. It works out. You know, I went from 800 just now to 7, and I'm just trimming. This is the first time I've actually been this in control and completely hand flown. I haven't used the autopilot at all. And gear down 3 green. And gauges are green. Check. Okay, cool. Everything looks good for the landing. Descent, you know, pre-landing check complete. We're getting low. Go back up to 800 maybe. And then back down maybe 750. Still trying to experiment with it. I still have to experiment, by the way, with actually I think 700 was the ticket because I'm supposed to be slowing down anyways. And then yeah, so see, we're gonna do another 100, so bring that 7 down to 600. $120, and I'm just gonna keep that right there because I kind of like the way that this is stable and very, very gradually decreasing. I can't believe, oh shit, I have to have more flaps. Okay, I have full flaps, and let's see if this is true. I kind of like this power setting, and oh shit, shit, you guys. Yeah, that should be 100 knots. Okay, so right now I am slow. It did not like those flaps. That means I should have had those flaps in way sooner. Fuck, I fucked it up. See, with all those flaps in, I should be 1,000 foot-pounds, it seems. And now I can start backing it off. There's 110. Okay, cool. So seems like 900 probably is the way to go right now. No, shit, I'm fast. There we go. And now I'm sinking. So let's go back up to 800. And I'm gonna go from 700 to 5. That is how it's done. Hell yeah, dude. Oh my god, that was incredible. Holy shit, dude. Oh my god. That was nuts, dude. Holy moly, dude. Flaps up. And wow. That was crazy. Holy shit, man. Because this plane is heavy, you guys. Damn. Alright. Why is my thing... Yeah, here we go. Alright, 8782 Romeo, crossing 20 left at Hotel to Atlantic via Alpha. And then that comes back down to low idle. Dude, I'm so glad that was on, dude, recorded on Twitch. Holy moly, dude. That was by far the best hand flying I've ever done in this airplane. I want to say, yeah, this is Alpha right here. Alright, cool, man. Dude, the shit, it's like all fucked up over here. What the hell? It's all like dirt. So apparently, I need to turn around, because I think that's the end of the road right there. Alright. Now, dude, okay, I think what I need to do is call it a night on the sim. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up for some video games, dude. It's been a long day. Done a lot of teaching and a lot of flying. And, dude, replay, like, that would be amazing. And, you know, now, replay, I don't have anything, I don't have any, like, replay software. Is there a way to replay on here? Like configure video recording toggle. I mean, how do you replay flight? Okay. And then toggle replay mode. But I mean, I didn't record I didn't record it though. Oh, what? Can I go outside? Oh my god, you guys. Yo. Okay. So dude, this is incredible. I can't believe that I didn't know about this, dude. So here we are, cleared for takeoff. So we're clear for takeoff, Chino. And you know what? I screwed up because I didn't even brief the approach. Like right over there in the run-up, we should have briefed our approach. And really got set up like a lot better. And you know, the other thing that I screwed up on is in, oh, is it? Oh, okay. The other thing that I screwed up on, if you go back in the cockpit, oh, are you serious? In the replay I can look? Dude, this is crazy. So, I screwed up because in the, in the flight plan, see like right here, we have Chino, Paradise, Rendell, Poxku. We have it here, but I did not have us set up comms wise. See, in the clearance we got radar vectors Paradise direct, and I was flying. He had me fly runway heading to join the airway from not Paradise but Pomona. So I have no Pomona. I have Paradise in here right here, and then the ILS ready to go. Because I'm thinking he's gonna have me go to Paradise direct and then maybe fly outbound from Paradise, you know, and then join the join the ILS. But that's not what happens, dude. He tells me to there's the power increase right there. He tells me to fly runway heading, or I'm flying runway heading, and has me join it's kind of a squirrely takeoff. I fly runway heading and he has me join Victor 393. I'm like, fucking 393? What are you talking about? Alright, positive rate, gear up, flaps up. Dude, Mo Daddy, I had no idea about this, man. This replay, this is crazy, dude. And I'm so stoked about it because this was the cleanest, probably the cleanest hand flying of this airplane that I've ever done. And I haven't done a lot of time in this airplane, but and it's not, you know, it's probably like a B, I would say like a B flight, maybe a B minus, B plus. But still, dude, like this is kind of a difficult plane to hand fly. So here we are. We're cleared to 3,000, or excuse me, we're cleared to 4,000. So pretty much I'm just flying runway heading, and he clears me. You know, at this point, he's like, okay, you know, oh, I'm not even switched over to SoCal yet. At this point, there's the frequency change, and I'm like, SoCal approach, Cessna, or King Air 8782 Romeo, and he goes 8782 Romeo, join Victor 393. And the thing is, man, is Victor 393, it's right here. Victor 393 is that line that we're coming up to. So he's not having me go over here. I'm thinking he's having me go make a left turn and go this way to Paradise and then come back. But he goes, no, you know, join Victor 393, that airway right, or 363, excuse me, which is Paradise. So here we are getting closer and closer. And I got to start switching it up. So right there, I'm looking at 110.4. Right, 110.4 is right there. And I got to switch. That's right here is, I'm at 4,000 feet. I need a course of 164. And this thing is all squirrely. I start fucking with the heading bug, and I'm like, oh shit, no, wrong one. There's 164 that I need. This thing's being weird. So then I go through the course, actually. Still, yeah. Still holding on to 4,000, though. Pretty nice. And then finally, this thing starts to cooperate. There's 164 is what I'm looking for. Cool. And see, but now we're over the line, so I got to make my way over to the line. And you can see there that I'm about to intercept right there, but I should be at 4,000. And I think one of my biggest mistakes tonight was when I got on with SoCal, these guys right here, 135.4, these guys. I should have let them know that I want to do the ILS. How did I not ask for that? I was just so behind. I didn't even get the ATIS, dude. Like, before you know it, it's like done. I should have got the ATIS like on the climb. And you know, if the thing is I wanted to really give it a try to hand fly this airplane and just see if I could do it. And it had been a while since I had hand flown it, and worked out really good. So I think, you know, in autopilot, you know, with heading mode and nav capture and all that stuff, it would have been good. So, but that's probably one of the biggest mistakes, I'd say, because you could see in the approach up at the top right there, like I'm about to intercept the final approach course, and you know, there's 164 that we're coming up to. He said cleared for the visual, and I'm like, dude, I want the ILS, And he's like, no, like you should have told me. And I'm like, damn, that's true. So we got the ILS frequency right there, 111.7, 111.75. So here I am. You can see here I'm like, I have 196 is that final approach course, and 111.75 descend and maintain, descend and maintain 3000, he said. And I'm going through it, and I also, it's not showing the glide slope. So he said, no, that's not going to work out. And it rightfully so, because I'm over here like, pretty well above, and I'm coming up to the final approach fix. Like, that was not a proper setup. So, he tells me to break off, and I break off. You could see in the top corner right there. So I break off, and then he clears me to Sauger Direct, which is up at the top there. Sauger is the name of the fix where the course reversal is situated around. Dude, I can't imagine this was an IMC. Certainly not by hand. Way too crazy. I guess, yeah, I probably could have done it. But yeah, so Sauger Direct right there. You can't see it on the GPS because the GPS is still in the mode that I left it in when I'm actually on the ground prior to the replay mode. But right now I selected Sauger Direct, and you'll see that represented on the chart up top. You could see it there actually in the there's GPS mode instead of VOR, and then the CDI is set for a direct course to Sauger. So we're en route and gonna climb to 3500 and then hold, and not really hold, but we're gonna make the course reversal. We're getting kind of slow, so let's get that power in. And I want to be faster than that, but I don't want to be too fast. And I think I accidentally go too fast. Like, I think right here we get up to like 210 even. So that's not good. But still hand flying it. I'm still trying to figure out this trim. We're en route to Sauger. Well, it's not terrible. We actually holding 200. I thought it was like more. So I'm going to fast forward actually to the approach, because that was absolutely bonkers. So here we are on the approach. Yeah, absolutely. MoDaddy, absolutely. Same here, actually. It's kind of nice to like be hands off right now. Like, this is tripping me out because my IR tracker like works in the replay. It's not where I was it's not my head movement at the time. Like, we can actually like go wherever we want. Like, we can go in the back of the plane, like we could look around, and it's just like totally what we're like reliving what happened. This is so cool. And we got it actually shows up again on the chart. So we're back on the ILS frequency right there, 111.75. We've got 196 dialed in. We're tracking totally. Now we should have the glide slope. Why isn't the glide slope showing up? Maybe we're too high, or too far out rather. We're definitely showing the localizer. Okay. So we have flaps are set to approach, and props are, dang, See, I didn't even take care of my props on the descent. It's just so crazy, like how fast things can change. Like things are changing in this airplane. Um, it's really really wild. Um, where's the? Is there not going to be a descent rate, or I'm sorry, a glide slope? We're coming up to the final approach fix. We should definitely have the glide slope up there on the EFIS. There should be a glide slope right here. Yeah, radar altimeter's up. Dude, like, we should definitely have a glide slope right here, but we don't. That's weird. Hmm. So the one thing I can say for sure is pretty much, like, I am on glide slope. It was pretty insane. I couldn't believe it, dude. Um, yeah, that glide slope's not coming in on that attitude indicator, but yeah, there should be like a green like graduated like thing right here, and with a little dot in the middle ideally, and you can tell that I'm on slope because see it's too white and too red right now. Whoa. Too white and too red, so I'm on slope and we're lined up. It's looking really good. And right now I'm just trying to manage power, and I'm experimenting with power settings, and I fucked up because I left gear down as 3 green. I left, well, first of all, I left the props at 1950. They should have been full forward. But the flap setting right now is in approach flaps, not down. I mean, they're down for approach, but they're not in the full down position. And so what happens is later on, I got these power settings like totally perfect. Like I was, I'm 700 or I'm 800 and now I'm 700 and I'm still on slope. It's looking really good. I powered down to like 700, I think a little bit more. I'm 740. I think I bring it down. Yeah, there's that 700 right there. So then I'm trimming. I'm a little bit low now, or I'm about to get low. And then so I trim a little bit nose up, and that makes the speed kind of continue to come down. And that's really nice. So I try another 100 foot-pound increment on the torque, 700 down to 600, continuing to nose up trim. Now I'm getting a little too low. And I still don't have all my flaps in, dude. You can see here the flaps, they're in approach right now. So when I throw all the full flaps in there, it screws up the whole thing. And I get too slow, and then I gotta jack the torque up to 1,000, I believe. So right there's the full flaps, and now look at the speed is below 100, and this plane likes to, assuming that you're on slope, it likes to approach. It seems at like 110 on when you're on a mile final. So I'm like, dude, we're getting low, we're slow, we got to put this power up, dude. I try 900 and it's just not enough. We gotta go 1,000. Yeah, there's 1,000, and we're also high, so now pitching down, like the speed starts coming back. We're still on localizer. We're back on slope. We're 2 and 2. And now, we're at a good speed. We could start backing that power off. Normal, and here we are at 700. I think that's too much, actually. Oh, no, and then you know what? I think I went 7. Yeah, so very, very short final, like as I'm going. So here I am over the fence at 100 knots, and then 700, 50, 700, and then take it down to going into ground effect. That was one thing I wanted to experiment with, was see, right before touchdown, kill it though. And then that was a really smooth. Let's actually look at that from the outside. See, we're still slowly descending. That's how you do it, dude. Interesting. See, I didn't realize that. The way that I did it, and this is what I wanted to experiment with. I'm gonna watch these wheels. That's what I wanted to experiment with, was going into ground effect, like right there. So there's a little like mini transition that this plane seems to go through, like as you just before you go into ground effect, like you've got like 700, you are you're like 700 foot-pounds of torque. And then I wanted to experiment with a 200 foot-pound torque reduction going into ground effect, and then once in ground effect starting to sink, then power idle. Whereas if you're descending, I was noticing the last couple times I landed, this plane is so heavy that if you're descending and then going into ground effect, power idle, and there isn't a transition into ground effect, power idle too soon, the thing just freaking slams down on the ground. Like, it's too much to overcome the inertia if it's already descending. But if you can just decrease the power by 200 foot-pounds and go into the level off, it will start to sink, but very slowly, and then as it sinks, power idle, and then it sets down really nicely. That was dope. That was really, really cool. See, like, I go into it 980, but then I start with 700, like pretty soon. Like, there's the 700. Right? And then what you see is, as I'm entering ground effect, it's actually high 700s. But I think right now yeah, so I take it down from 7 down to 5, right? There's like 2 or 300 foot-pounds. That was actually closer to 800 now that I see it. So here's 980 just to get the speed up a little bit. And then once I see that the speed is 110 on a mile final, or like a short final, there's 744 torque. And I carry the speed's good. I'm on slope. Oh, so okay, so I'm a little bit low, and that's fine. I'm 800 foot-pounds at 100 knots, and then 800 down to high 500s, mid 500s. So that's a 300-pound reduction into ground effect with some torque, and then idle. See that? So that's really cool. So it's actually 300 foot-pounds. It's 300 foot-pounds. Damn, bro, that was legit. That was legit, dude. Let's see it one more time before we call it a night from the outside. That's really interesting. You know, all the mistakes aside, I don't even care. I wanted to experiment with that. Into ground effect, sinking. Oh, runway view. Let's do it. Wait. How do you change runway? Well, but how do you change runway, you know? See? Oh, really? Okay, so I'll pause it right here. Ah, I see. That's cool as fuck. Oh, dude. Yeah, honestly, the chase is where it's at, dude, because you can see it and you can hear it. This is the way better one. So I'm coming in 800 foot-pounds, or yeah, like high sevens, or like, basically 800 foot-pounds of torque. Bring it down into ground effect, high eights or high fives, and then it's sinking, idle. I love it. I love it. That's dope. Damn. Dude, that was nuts. Dude, you guys are awesome, man. Thank you so much for hanging out. Now I'm gonna be back in a second. Oh yeah, dude, that was awesome. That was awesome. Especially in a plane like this where, it's gorgeous, and I wanna to do something like that and relook at what happened. Like that's what's up, dude. That's where it's at. So yeah, you guys are awesome, and let's summon demons. So I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna probably do like an hour of video games. I think probably, what should we do? Oblivion, maybe some Oblivion. So yeah, I'll be back, and uh, and thank you guys for hanging out. So we did, and if you guys want, you can look back in the VOD to the earlier the ground. We talked about how, like, how airplanes turn, and where G loading actually comes from, and we looked at the nth degree example that I like to show and talk about is the F-16 Viper demo, from the pilot's view, and it's freaking rad, dude. So we make sense out of that, and then we put that flight together from Chino to John Wayne, and just to, dude, with Pilot Edge, it's like super super fast. So I'm gonna quit the stream here. I'm gonna restart Oblivion, and I'll be right back. See you guys.